we have sealed gap between our timber plate or stud and dump course. The same we've done with the side. We've used just a general silicone, builder silicone, to do this stud to timber. So as that in there is a garage, we don't need to insulate anything. So all we're going to be doing is putting the actual roofing felt, breather felt, and after that we'll be cladding it with oak feather edge. But if this would be like an outbuilding, you would have to obviously insulate it, put your felt, put counterbatten to allow for airflow, and you have to have like a vent trim on the bottom, so there's airflow, so obviously it doesn't condensate. But because this is going to be just garage, we don't have to do that. Also, for what we're doing, it wouldn't work out because in our case we will be fitting these, also the like a support struts, but they'll be only visual ones, so they'll be going from top to the posts. And because of the thickness, if we would have moved any further, so you would need another 25mm for batten, so we would lose that, so we couldn't really do that. So but as this is a garage, it doesn't really need to be insulated, so we don't need to batten it out to give the airflow, as there won't be drastic temperature changes. So what we'll do, we'll put the felt, breather felt, and when we do our first board, we will groove it so it goes over the brick face slightly, just 10mm, so it forms the drip, and that silicone, what we applied, will be as a second line of defense if ever timber cracks or something, so it can't get through. So we'll have a silicone and our felt, which we're going to take over the edge. So essentially it should never ever really leak, because we'll have two layers of defense to stop it leaking. So we have covered sides, the back, with and silicone also, as I showed you. If you do your silicone, make sure it's weather tight. Next thing I will, before we clad it, I will be starting work on the roof. Reason being, because obviously there is some movement, because it's not locked in at the minute, and so I want to make sure I get it weather tight, because obviously also the weather is sort of meant to rain today, so I don't really want to start cladding and you know, I won't get too far. I'll just set up and it'll also start rain, where I could sort of start stripping the tiles and work on the roof itself. Just work out what we're doing. Technically it should be around 41 degree pitch, but we'll see. I'll cast sample and I'll just go up there and see where we actually are. So yeah, that's our next task. Work out what is the pitch, what raft is going to be. As this is a lean-to, our ridge will be fixed to the wall, on one side of the ridge, and 2 hips going into it, and so it's going to be a hipped lean-to roof. So we're going to work out first the rafters from side to side and height of the ridge. So I'm going to cut a 41 degree pitch to start with, and we'll see what that gives us. Then we'll just offer rafter onto the roof, and that way we'll be able to tell whether it's, you know, near enough or not, and if it is, then we can go from there. If it isn't, then again we can change slightly the pitch. So yeah, I'll just use one of the longer lengths. I think I've got 4.2s for this, so this should be enough, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. So just wanted to run through what I did, as it's starting honestly to rain. That's my luck for you. So first you need to do is measure your plates, the width, divide it in half. Next step what I did, because we didn't know the actual pitch of the roof, so I set my ridge at the height it would not be in the way of everything, and reasonable height, so it's easy to dress the lead and everything else, which was around 350 down from the soffit of existing garage roof. So next step what I did, I put my rafter without any cuts. As you can see, that's where I put it onto the actual oak beam, and up to where I marked these marks out where our ridge will be. And don't forget that your ridge, this is center of the ridge, so whatever thickness of the ridge you're gonna have, usually it's like 8x2, 9x2, 6x2, etc., depending what roof you're doing. In my case I think it's 6x2, so this measurement divided in half is center of that thickness. So I marked the center line up first to the tiles. You can't see it, I did try to show you, but you can't see it because it obviously it's dark tile and pencil doesn't help. You need to get a right angle on it. So I offered the rafter piece where it touched the top of my ridge, and so did top of it, sat on top of the oak. Then I took my level and marked up level with the ridge, which was marked on my tiles, and marked the line, transferred the line basically on a rafter, which gave me my angle, pitch, sorry. So, and the pitch is 30 degrees. So again, I have used this Essential Carpenter square before. It's brilliant because once you get your, or you know your pitch, you set this, will give your seat cut or bird's mouth cut. So you set that at 1/3 of your timber, which I did. So once I've obviously found out what is my actual pitch. Next step is you need to find out length of your rafter, which I did by I tacked the nail in just before the corner of the beam. Then I took tape measure from here to the point of where the ridge will be, and that gave me my measurement, which was 3.3 meters. So that's the measurement from point to C cut. And what I did then, I'll just draw it out here. Then I've cut my 4x2. So you measure from the point and you go to roughly where your seed cut will be on a timber. You know, it's 1/3 of the timber, so that's how you can roughly work it out. And you measure down like this from the tip onto roughly where the position will be, and what you will get slightly curved line. So you sort of get your measurement and you draw a line, and when you use the square, knowing they set at the right 1/3 of the timber, you place in a timber and you just cross the points, and that will give your seed cut. There are other ways of doing it, obviously, but this is way I do it myself. Sometimes you know the pitch, and if you know the roof pitch, what I would do, I would cut 2 pieces and I would put 2 pieces over until they meet, on the in a center line, and then I would mark on those timbers. So I would screw 2 together and I would mark obviously where our seed cut will be. But because we are restricted on the height, we couldn't just go with the number and assume that it will be fine. It just wouldn't work, it would be too high. So hence why I marked it all out on actual back of the house on tiles, and that gave me and I just offered a piece of wood, marked where everything is, then put the nail in a corner here in a beam. I might be able to show you. So yeah, you can see there is the nail there. So I took my measurement, tape measure. Let me get up. So it's clearer. So as you can see here, I have marked it. So marked it also on the bottom. There's my nail in the rafter, and or in a beam, or in a plate if you like. So you have probably a plate, roof plate. So this is a prop to temporarily hold in a position, and as you can see, it follows my line which I drawn by dividing half of the overall width and marking center. Mark the center there, or you can just go either way depending on what thickness is your ridge, and transfer measurement up there onto where the ridge will be. So obviously what you can do, if you want your ridge to be proud by 20 mm, which I do suggest, because when you do your ridge, it's just less packing for you to do. So, and if it's a dry ridge, you want to be, you know, 25 mil higher roughly above your top of the rafter, and that will give you easier fixing points into the ridge for your dry ridge kit. So yeah, that's what it is. And then basically once you've done that, I'll do the next one the same. But as you can see, we got a problem there that our beam on the left hand side is a lot thicker than other beams. I've shown you on that side too. So what we're gonna have to do is allow for that cut to be, whatever that thickness difference is, deeper on that side. So that's the only downside. On this side it's more or less okay, and that is half. That beam basically is between that and that. So we got 3 thicknesses of the beams, unfortunately. So yeah, that's where we are, and I catch up you in a bit.